Hey, this is Jason Major from Say Hero Comic Bargains. I managed to pick up over 800 books the last week, and the bargain bins that will be sold for $1 a piece. I'm going to show you what these are going to be at. These ones in particular are going to be at Vintage and Vinyl Amherstburg, but you can also buy dollar books at Rogues Gallery in Windsor, Ontario. Shout out to them; they're great guys. So here is some of the great stuff you can find in the dollar bins at places like Rogues Gallery and Vintage and Vinyl Amherstburg. So you got, and we're going to do the letter A today, and we're going to go through in the next series of videos over the alphabet. So we got A-Force, Civil War II crossover, Agents of Atlas, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., another Civil War II crossover. I really have enjoyed the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series. I do recommend this series. Alien Legion is by Carl Potts. This is part of their Marvel's Epic line, back when they did creator-owned stuff. An interesting question for the chat for down below. Why didn't the Image creators join Epic Comics, which was Marvel's creator-owned line, and why didn't they just do their books through them? That would be interesting to note. I guess maybe they thought they'd do better being completely independent of Marvel as opposed to working for Marvel at all. But that's an interesting question. But Alien Legion would be the same kind of thing as a Guardians of the Galaxy or very sci-fi. It's kind of a cool book. Soon to be a movie, as of 2024 at least. Alpha Flight, which last time I got Alpha Flight, all of these sold in the dollar bins. So we got a bunch of Alpha Flights, which is the Canadian team, which ironically Alpha Flight, and at least the ones I've read, are Canadians' legitimate team, but made up of mutants. So Canada and U.S. have very different in the comic books have very different standards of how they treat mutants. The American, this is covered by David Dorman. Mark Verheiden wrote and created this, and for Dark Horse. Knight's Terror was a whole event that DC did, but rather than putting it under Knight's Terror, I put it under the individual character. So, for example, if it's Superman, I put it under Superman, and I put him with the Superman rather than just putting all the Knight's Terror together. I just think it's better that way. But I don't know who Angel Breaker is, but I put it under A for Angel Breaker, or K, because either it was A for Angel Breaker or K for Night Terror, which is technically the real title, and this is Night Terror's Angel Breaker. But I put it under A for Angel Breaker instead. That's an interesting cover, even though I don't know who the character is. Astonishing X-Men Ant-Man, same thing. I put under Ant-Man, and then I put under A for Astonishing. That's kind of how I do. When a character doesn't have many, many series, I like to keep that character get together in the long boxes. So, for example, this is a True Believers. If you look at this, it says True Believers number 1, Ant-Man, because I hate the title True Believers, by the way. What they should call them is either Marvel Tales, or, because that was like a legitimate title, Marvel Tales, which reprinted mostly Spider-Man, or they should have called it like just Ant-Man and the Wasp Classic or something. But yes, it's cool. That's a classic Ant-Man story. And this was $1 originally. So sometimes you can find these reprints for $1, but reprints for $1 and fast meals, which includes the ads and all that, the fast meals usually cost the cover price. But if it's a reprint, sometimes you'll get a reprint for $1. If they're brand new, I mean. But anyways, classic Ant-Man. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Aquaman from 1989. That looks kind of cool. A lot of the DC back in the 80s, I was more of a Marvel fan, so I'm kind of going back and reading these post-crisis DC characters that weren't Superman or Batman, which I focused on. It's kind of cool to find. Aquaman and the Others, the New 52, which I covered in another video. Argus, I just like the cover. It just looks pretty cool. I don't know anything about the character. Arion the Immortal. He had Arion, the Lord of Atlantis title back in the 80s, which you can find in the long boxes. A lot of long boxes. Astonishing Iceman. I put this under A because there is not many Iceman miniseries, so I put under an A. And then finally, we got Avatar, which is published right now by Dark Horse, but maybe one day we'll move to Marvel. It is a 20th Century Fox production, but probably they had the rights before Marvel bought. Disney bought Fox. I read an issue of this, not this one, but another one, and the artwork and the story was actually pretty cool. I think that Avatar is I think James Cameron is building interesting things with the characters. So anyways, that's my A-list. We'll go into our A-list, focus just on Avengers in the next video. Thanks, and always stay sweaty.